Hi, Jim Connor here. We're back at Game Changer Silicon Valley. Today we're at the RSA conference in San Francisco. I'm with Bob Noel of Plixar Corporation. Bob, welcome to the show. You've got an interesting technology at Plixar. Let me give you an opportunity to explain to our audience how it works.
Great, thanks. I always like to start with sort of framing where we fit in the industry. So for decades, companies have spent their budget on point security products, really in the name of prevention, and that's been a best practice. But unfortunately, with today's threat surfaces increasing and the sophistication of attacks, what's really happened is we're at a point where breaches are inevitable. And so from the boardroom to the security operations team, we really believe that the mindset has to shift away from only prevention towards one of forensics capability and support of effective incident response. And that's really where Plixar technology fits.
So when you say forensics, does that mean you're going into the breach that has occurred in the past, or you're doing it in current time, or you're coming up with some mechanism to address future breaches?
Yeah, great question. So what we're doing is we're gathering metadata and flow information from the network itself, from the routers and the switches and the firewalls, anything that exports that flow information as well as metadata. Now that's done in near real time. So we run security algorithms on that to look for anomalous behavior, so we can alert on something in real time or near real time and then certainly investigate that. Or what often happens is that companies understand that they've been breached at some point in the future, at which point what they really need is they need to go back into a database and use it almost like closed circuit television, where you can replay what happened led up to that event and understand what happened and what the breach may have gained access to.
In today's environment, you being here at RSA, are all major corporations up on this, or are they coming around? What is the state of the industry in terms of understanding the severity of the risk?
Yeah, it's a great question. Here at RSA, we have essentially two halls full of companies that are selling preventative technology. Now, that's a bit of an overstatement, but the industry still is very heavily focused on prevention, and I think it's a mindset change and an education process to really understand and recognize that breaches are inevitable, and again, that goes really up to the board, right? The exposure that you have as a company is very real, and if you don't take a proactive approach at having a technology that you can use to, again, quickly remediate and effectively protect yourself, you're leaving yourself exposed. So I think the industry is still very heavily focused on prevention, and again, we really believe we need to be part of that education process for people to realize that you really have to think about incident response.
Can you give me kind of a use case or an example of a company, not necessarily the name, but the industry, or how they're using your technology?
Yeah, sure. So again, it's very much about daily monitoring. Many of our customers create reports for the critical assets that they want to monitor, high value assets, and they come in the morning and they essentially look at those reports. They look for alerts, and they also look for anomalous behavior. And from that, they are either good to go on their business for the day, or they're going to dig into something that looks anomalous. So that's the primary, and when I say, again, we become typically the primary dashboard that people use beginning of the day and then certainly after a breach.
What about overnight? Does some of this stuff occur overnight?
Oh, of course. The bad guys know that not every organization is a 7x24 organization, and that the downtime is a great time when eyes aren't necessarily looking. On the flip side, if you are looking, it's really a great time to recognize anomalous behavior, because what you see as normal traffic during the day does not exist at night. So if you see things that are accessing your high-value assets at night that shouldn't be, it's actually somewhat easier to respond to.
So Bob, does your technology reside at the ISP level, the internet service provider level, or at the enterprise at their firewall level?
No, it's a great question. So actually it's really both. So many of our customers are enterprise customers. They deploy the technology either on-premise as a hardware appliance, on-premise as a virtual instance, or up into the cloud by exporting their data to the cloud. That said, we also have a number of ISP clients that are very interested in looking to monitor the traffic that's flowing across their network, looking for anomalous behavior there as well.
Great. Excellent information. People would like to follow up with you or the company. What would be the best way to have that take place?
Sure. You can either reach out to me directly at bob.noel, Noel, at plixar.com, or check us out on our website at plixar.com.
Bob, thank you so much for your time, your insight, your information. Very much appreciate it. I wish you every success going forward.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.